A battle built here with another video, getting into some more Season 8 Go Battle League battles. These taking place in the Ultra Remix battles, and these are some more of my battles like the last video. I'm going to actually try my best to get you more of my battles going forward. I really learned recently that I can just go through my Twitch VOD, which is like my recorded video of my Twitch stream, and kind of cut out my battles and re-shoutcast over them. And for today's battles, I have a collection of 8 that are featuring Giratina Origin. It's pretty high ranked on PvP Poke for Ultra Remix, but I consider it relatively spice pick. Unfortunately, this team does consist of 2 other XL mods. I felt like these covered Giratina's Origin's weaknesses the best, and we're going to see how well this team performed in the 3200 elo range. So again, Galarian Sunfisk, one of those XLs that I feel like most people should have. If you've hit level 40 and you played the events at a relatively average rate, honestly, you should have enough to get a majority of XL Sunfisk done. Politoed a little bit more difficult, but again, I want to give you the best possible teams and hopefully let you know you should work on Politoed. So without further ado, let's see how Giratina Origin has performed in some Ultra Remix battles. And of course, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as we jump into these battles. So I have a collection of 8 from the stream, showing the strengths and the weaknesses, covering some wins and losses, obviously, to give you the most balance I possibly can. Getting into this first match, we have a positive lead, but they save swap Mandibuzz, and our best answer for Mandibuzz is Stunfisk, so we're going to stay in there. Ideally, we have answers for Shiny Shadow Muck throughout the rest of the team. That was quite the spice pick to run into. Between Politoed and Giratina Origin, they shouldn't struggle too much. The only thing that we have to worry about is a Dark Pulse hitting Giratina Origin. But our best answer, like I said, for Mandibuzz is Stunfisk, so we're going to want to Rock Slide the living heck out of it. So we're going to be playing the tank game where we have to spam as many charge moves as possible to get rid of a Pokemon, and this is a pretty spammy Pokemon to be going up against, even with Air Slash on the fast move. So we're going to over farm because we knew it would be a bit of a CMP tie on that charge move, so we might as well just get as much extra energy as possible, just based on the fact that we want to make sure we can deal with that Muck late game or whatever else they decide to come in with. Gonna be a few things. Who knows what you run with Muck in Ultra Remix, and apparently it's Muck Double Dark, which actually makes sense. I didn't even realize in the moment when I was doing this battle this was Double Dark, but it makes sense because, you know, you're gonna run into potentially double charm teams, so you want to, you know, cover that weakness with a poison type, with Poison Jab. Now, we don't want to come with Giratina Origin here because of the pure fact that, you know, Scrafty's a dark type. Now, we would technically resist everything except for the foul play. That'd be super effective, but Giratina Origin, everything I throw would be resisted. I was tempted at times to put Dragon Pulse on my Giratina Origin, especially when I would run into like a Snorlax, which would be annoying as hell. But I ended up sticking with the typical moveset that you'd expect of Shadow Claw, Ominous Wind, and Shadow Ball. So we're going to play more of a spam game. Politoed in Great League and Ultra Remix is spammy as hell between Mudshot and Weather Ball. And also in this specific meta, I'd actually recommend Blizzard on your Politoed, but I only have one built and I Elite TM'd it to Earthquake, and there's no way I'm TMing Earthquake off of it after using an Elite TM. So trying to catch them lacking a safe or swap in Giratina Origin to Shadow Claw down. Their Scrafty just barely survives, and then they come back in with the Muck. Now, we resist the Poison Jabs, which is ideal. We also resist the Thunder Punches, so our goal here was to bait the way we just did, and then just go double Shadow Ball, because even if they bait us, they will not be able to double bait and get to a Dark Pulse. So after that bait, we really just need to just go straight Shadow Ball, and what you're going to notice after I throw the charge move is they decide to not shield. They thought I was going to double bait. I did not need to double bait at that point, and then they quit. Ends up being GG. So let's talk about the team a little bit more. Some of the meta mons that it beats. This team does do well against Mandibuzz. Ironically, we're just talking about how I left in Stunfisk, but apparently Politoed can win. I'm just literally reading it off PvP Poke. This team covers Alolan Ninetales well. It covers Gengar well. It covers Skarmory well. It covers Lugia well. It covers Defense Deoxys very well. Now, one thing the team struggles against is Jellicent, but I don't consider that big of a weakness because we can hit it for some nice neutral damage with Galarian Sunfisk, and Giratina Origin also has Shadow Claw, and of course double Ghost moves will help in that potential Jellicent matchup. One thing we're really weak to is Scrafty. So I'm pretty sure, because as I was looking away, I wasn't looking at the battle. Pretty sure this was a Scrafty on Stunfisk lead, and I swapped out. And thankfully, we're going to find out later in the match that their backline is really weak to Politoed. We're going to find out right now. They come in with Victini. That is some spice. I respect it. But thankfully, that's what they're running behind their Scrafty, because Scrafty does really well against Stunfisk, and of course, the Dark Damage is going to do really well against Giratina Origin. I haven't actually played the Giratina Origin matchup out against Scrafty, and I kind of prefer not to, just because even though we double resist all the counters and the fighting damage, the foul plays are still going to hurt, and if they play a bait game and land a boosted foul play, that just doesn't sound like a fun time. Now, because we're so weak to Scrafty, I come back in with the Stunfisk here, trying to save Politoed for it. They end up double V creating, but that debuffs the living heck out of their defense. Their defense is as low as it possibly could be. So I come with Giratina Origin for a strong farm down, expecting the Scrafty to come in, but at least I have energy here, and they're going to have to counter and throw moves at our Giratina Origin if they want to take us out. Now, I built up to the Shadow Ball, but their Scrafty's pretty low. I'm going to go for the Ominous Wind. I know it's not going to take out, but it gets a shield, which is huge. Hoping for a boost, don't get it. Make a 5-head play here. After getting the shield, go into Politoed to throw the Weather Ball to try and take them out, and it doesn't take them out. The Scrafty just barely survives, but their last Pokemon is a Nidoqueen, so we're feeling really good here. We're going to throw Weather Balls at it. It's going to be super effective damage. We're going to hope that we can get to another Weather Ball before they can Poison Jab us down, but unfortunately, that looked really weird, but they were able to Poison Jab us down. They have to Earth Power us, but we have a shield, and they might want to play the bait game. We shield because we know we can get to the Shadow Ball before they bait and then throw an Earth Power, but this was a little bit of a mistake on my part. I should have not shielded because we would have survived the Earth Power. The Scrafty gets to a foul play and I'm debuffed. This was my lose condition. The Giratina just barely holds on, and thankfully, those are double resisted counters. Almost through that game, the right play at the end would have been to let the Earth Power come through, even if that's what they decided to go for, and then, of course, save the shield for a potential foul play from the Scrafty. So we learned that one almost the hard way. Thankfully, it didn't end up in a loss, but of course, you know, my mistakes come information for you guys if you decide to yoink this team, because this team did really well. I had nothing but positive sets actually with this team in the 3200 range, so I'm pretty confident if you have the XL Mons, which I feel like is like gonna be the common denominator between every video I put out, or not every video, I'm gonna try my best to put out as many non-XL teams as possible, but of course I want to get you the good teams, and the good teams in this meta are gonna have XLs. It's really unfortunate. If you want to avoid it, I'd highly recommend doing open ultra battles, and of course let me know if that's content you want to see. Tell me in the comment section below, or I'm going to keep on putting out content on the new meta. So now we end up with a Politoed on a Snorlax, and we're going to Weather Ball the living heck out of it. No reason to ever go for Earthquake on your Politoed in a neutral situation, because Politoed does not get stab on it. Weather Ball is just better DPE, and it gets stabbed, so you want to just spam as many Weather Balls as possible. Throwing Earthquake is just setting yourself back. So we're just playing, again, a very slow matchup. They're thick, we're spammy. They swap, they catch a Weather Ball, which keeps our Snorlax alive. I'm not too worried about it now that it's completely dead. Thankfully, we lured it out to keep it away from the Giratina Origin. They get to a charge move here, and because their health is so low, we're going to go with Giratina Origin and farm down. We know their one answer for Giratina Origin, Snorlax, is pretty dead. So if that decides to come back in, which I'm fully expecting it to, we'll throw an Ominous Wind or a Shadow Ball at it and try and get some more farm there. They're going to double Psycho Boost this year. I'm pretty sure they get to 2. Yeah, they get to 2. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Because Psycho Boost debuffs the living heck out of the attacks and defense Deoxys, it gets us to half health. Giratina Origin, very glassy. Very attack weighted, very strong, hits very hard for sure, but does not tank as well as I probably would have expected. I guess I'm just really only used to running Giratina Origin and Masters, and obviously the difference between Masters and Ultra, you know, one is more tanky than the other. We try to pull a quick swap, and they catch the Rock Slide. Big play on their end. This will take out the Snorlax, but we do have another Rock Slide. And we're hoping that, oh, it's also, no, we know that it's Charm, which means we're going to be able to win this match because of the fact that we're going to just outpace them, and Stunfisk is so tanky. And we also have 2 shields, so we can shield any charge moves coming through. If they have Powder Stone, I'd be a little bit more concerned because they'd be very spammy, and they might just be able to outpace us to 3 Weather Balls and to our 3 Rock Slides. And then if Giratina Origin couldn't get to a move in time, we would die to whatever charge move they end up throwing. But thankfully, it's Charm, so we're sitting here nicely, and we're going to take them out, and this is going to be GG for, I think, match number 3. Win this one pretty nicely. Can't really remember the leads we ran into, but we've talked about strengths and weaknesses. Alolan Ninetales for this team, I wouldn't consider a weakness. Yes, it does well against Giratina Origin, but Stunfisk plays very well against it, and even Politoed does really well because of how spammy Politoed can be and throwing the neutral damage, whereas Alolan Ninetales needs to throw Dazzling Gleams or Psyshocks to do neutral damage to Politoed. Now, Jellicent is still a pain in the butt. I know we talked about it earlier. It is one of the weaknesses of the team. It's not the hardest weakness in the world because we can do this Earthquake game, but it's the bubbles, super effective if they're running bubble. Shadow Ball hits hard on a lot of things, even though Jellicent's super tanky. And of course, we have Giratina that'll do well, but Giratina's going to take super effective damage from it. Now, because of the fact they committed 2 shields, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? let's see how well Giratina does in this matchup. It's extremely important to me. So we take a 2-shield to no-shield advantage, hoping Giratina could honestly just like sweep and slaughter. But now this comes down to if they decide to bait or if they decide to swap, and they have a Mandibuzz. So I'm like, oh, this is not ideal. Thankfully, we didn't throw at the Mandibuzz. But the way they pivoted kind of tells me that they have double counters to Giratina, one of them being Mandibuzz, and then I'm fully expecting a Charmer in the back, and we're kind of just sitting in a poor situation. But of course, that wasn't something I recognized in the lead because we're just going up against a Jellicent. I don't know what the heck they're going to put behind the Jellicent. They're going to put a bunch of different things behind Jellicent because Jellicent works on almost every team in Ultra Remix. I'm so sick of that Pokemon. I hate it in Ultra Remix. I hate it in Ultra, period. I know somebody pointed out in one of my previous videos that I ran it in Great League, but you know what? I didn't run it for that long, and in Great League, it's a little bit different than in Ultra League. In Great League, it definitely has more weaknesses that do well against it, where in Ultra it's so thick and not a lot of things beat it. Yeah, sure, you can beat it if you go hardcore with typing counters, but just in general, it's if you're playing neutral against it, it's almost gonna beat you in most situations. So they're going to throw another charge move here. I'm like, all right, we're going to take the L here, save these 2 shields, hope Giratina can slaughter. I'm going to overfarm, and I went for an Ominous Wind for 2 reasons. Mandibuzz's health was really low, so I was like, maybe this will take out. It's not take out, but I was also hoping for a boost and a farm down. Of course, my greed got ahead of me, and they get to a charge move, so I had to commit one here. I'm a little worried the Jellicent can bait me, not necessarily get to a move, but I don't remember exactly where its energy is at. And then, of course, I'm very just worried about their last Mon. They come with the Jelly, they throw right away. I made the mistake of not throwing right away. That's also a misplay on my end. I wanted to try and make up some of that energy I had to recoup for the Ominous Wind that I threw with the Mandibuzz, and that comes back to bite me there. And then their last Pokemon is a Alolan Ninetales, and it's a Alolan Ninetales with Charm, so it didn't really matter that I used the shields, but because we got debuffed and because Charm hurts so badly, we're not going to be able to win this. We don't even survive to get to another Shadow Ball, so honestly, really didn't matter that much that we got debuffed, but what mattered was the fact that I don't know what did matter. We just got hard countered. There wasn't too much we could do there. Getting into this next match, we have Galarian Stunfisk on Ferrothorn. Now, we both can deal neutral damage to each other in the forms of Power Whip hitting Galarian Stunfisk and Earthquake hitting the Ferrothorn. If you're seeing a lot of Ferrothorns, we're only single weak to it, and with Politoed being weak to Ferrothorn, Giratina does well because Giratina deal neutral damage, resisting all the grass stuff, and then Stunfisk hits hard with Earthquake, whereas Power Whip in Ultra League does not hit as hard. And they do get to their moves faster, but because of the fact that they're worried about another Earthquake hitting them now, and we're not worried about another Power Whip hitting us now, it puts us in a spot where we're feeling pretty good in the lead for this match. So we're going to throw another Earthquake here. We're going to see if they decide to shield. They decide not to, which means we're going to be able to almost mud shot down. We're going to be able to mud shot down. They threw really quick, so I knew in this situation it was only a mirror shot based on how fast they threw. But of course, they get the debuff, which is just unfortunate. It's the same amount of mud shots that would have taken them down. So essentially what this debuff does is it makes this super effective Rock Slide not do as much damage. So that definitely benefited them pretty well. They could try to go for a Powder Snow down, but we're going to get to another Rock Slide. So thankfully they did go for that. And because we won lead, we can line up Politoed with a Alolan Ninetales, so we're sitting in a good spot here, depending on whatever their last Mon is. So we're going to go into Politoed. Now, if we weren't debuffed, those Rock Slides would have gotten them even lower, but thankfully, they're still in a single Weather Ball range because they got so much farm. I'm fully expecting this to be a Dazzling Gleam, but Dazzling Gleam does not hit as hard as our Rock Slides set in the Alolan Ninetales. So, you know, matchup wise, we're still at even shields and we have more health, so I'm feeling pretty good here. We get a shield there, and we know we can outpace them to Weather Ball versus their neutral move, which is Dazzling Gleam. And then they come with the Giratina Origin, and then because of our shield advantage, we're feeling good. It was a good catch on their part, I respect it, but their bubbles are resisted and they need to land Shadow Balls, and we have tons of shields. They decide to top left. Completely understand that. I appreciate that, honestly. These days, I really would prefer if people top left in situations that they don't have a chance in. I could be a hypocrite at times. I get a little salty in my matches, so I understand when people don't top left, but I would definitely prefer it, and I should do the same and not be a hypocrite. When it's a clear loss and there's nothing that can be done, save everybody time. There's 24 hours in a day. Everybody's got better things to be doing than playing a losing matchup in GBL. I promise you. You got better things to do? I got better things to do. Anyhow, getting to this next match, we lost lead with, or not lost lead. What was the lead? I forgot. I got sidetracked talking about my whole rant on quitting and top lefting. But either way, we're with Politoed on Jellicent, so we're going to Earthquake the living heck out of it. But unfortunately, I think they bubble beamed this at one point and then landed the Shadow Ball. So they're sitting in a nice spot, and I'm hoping that they'll bubble beam again. I think that's what they do. I don't know. Yeah, okay, there we go. They do. I was like, let me wait, because I'm like, that happened once. In a lot of other matches, I ended up just getting Shadow Balled and slaughtered. But in this match, I forced their shields, which I feel pretty good about here, even though I didn't get Switch or anything along those lines. Now, what I'm going to try to do here is come with Giratina, right? Yep, and Shadow Claw all the way down. They might have built up to enough energy for a Shadow Ball, but I get scared. Oh, yeah, they did. Okay, I thought I got baited here. I'm going to go for a Shadow Claw down, and we're going to see whatever their other Pokemon was. Oh, they have Snorlax, and they have Machamp. And then actually, wait, I do one thing. Ironically, I'm talking about how, I did say I was a hypocrite. I did say, you can't say I didn't lie. I did say I was a hypocrite, and I don't quit in matches where it's an obvious quit. But I felt like my win condition here was maybe I bait and get off the Earthquake, and then the bait doesn't work, and then I swear I decide to quit. I swear I decided to quit. I guess I did not decide to quit. There's so much irony in these two matches. That's actually hilarious. Did I quit? Tell me I quit. Tell me I quit. I quit. Battleville, quit. Thank you. There we go. Okay, I quit. I swear. I'm not a complete hypocrite. I played out a little bit longer. I was like, wait a minute. That Snorlax is just going to obliterate me. I'm wasting everybody's time. Like I said, we got better things to do. So, getting into this next match, I have a little Ninetales on Jelly, and they say swap Jelly, and I come in with Giratina. So, let's see how this matchup goes. It will kind of fall on a potential bait game here between there we go, they bait the Bubble Beam, and that was very unfortunate. So because they baited, I decided to go for an Ominous Wind and a potential bait on my end, which would also give me a boost, hopefully, and I do get the boost. Boost was clutch. Obviously, boost is going to help in any matchup, especially when you're dealing super effective damage and taking super effective. Because we boosted, we're like, Shadow Ball, nothing. Who cares about super effective damage? We're going to go for another Ominous Wind. Can we double boost? Well, we take them out. We don't double boost, but we take that. And because of the fact that we boosted, our defense is so high right now, we're going to go for a Shadow Ball on the Alola Ninetales, and they decide not to shield, and that does like 2/3 of their health. Beautiful stuff. They come in with Surfetch, and we're feeling pretty good here. This match is relatively over. Yes, Surfetch has Leaf Blade, but we're just so spammy with Weather Balls. On top of the fact we have a full health Galarian Stunfisk. This is already GG, but my opponent doesn't recognize that yet, and I can understand that because they're dealing super effective damage with the Leaf Blade. So I don't blame them for sticking around. This one, we'll get off another Weather Ball. This will get their shield or take out the Surfetch. I'm pretty confident they shield because Surfetch is literally their win condition, keeping a little Ninetales lined up with my Galarian Stunfisk. It's just going to cost them an L, and then because we're going to double resist all the counter damage, we're going to go in with Giratina Origin here, and we're going to either force them to throw or let us get off an Ominous Wind, which will take out the Surfetch's remaining health, and this is officially GG. No boost on this one. Alola Ninetales comes back in, Galarian Stunfisk with a shield, full health, Alola Ninetales almost dead. GG to my opponent in that match, and then they did top it left when it was clear that, it wasn't going to be their match to win. Getting into this next one, we got Galarian Stunfisk on a Snorlax. Like I said before, this is where you want to see Snorlax. We're going to go Earthquake in the beginning because Snorlaxes in general, Shadow or Normal, don't shield. We are a little worried about a superpower, but we know we can tank one, so we let it come through, and we were hoping they wouldn't swap, and they do swap, and this is the worst matchup to play out. This matchup is pure pain, because Weather Ball would do nothing, but it's easy to bait with, and when you don't call the bait, you get blizzarded. Who wants to get blizzarded, man? That did so much damage, and then we throw a Shadow Ball. It doesn't work. We get Mud Shot down. Not a fun time. So we're already feeling like this match might be an L, especially because of the fact that they land the superpower. They're going to go for another charge. We're going to shield here because we have all this energy. We're going to have to throw an Earthquake, or do we go for the bait? We do go for the bait. Rock Slide would get them low, but Rock Slide's not going to take them out. But Giratina Origin and Politoed. Giratina should win. Dragon doing neutral goes damage. You resist the Weather Balls, which Politoads consistently spam. But because this is definitely the meta to have Blizzard on your Politoed, it becomes an unfortunate situation. Even Earthquake hits pretty hard, but Blizzard, you just saw. And of course, I don't want to be caught shielding Weather Balls because it's so easy to get to. But almost every Politoed I've ran into throws the Blizzard right away. So if you decide to use this team and you run into that exact situation, expect them to throw the Blizzard. Now, what I could have done when they brought in the Politoed is just mirrored Politoads, but I'm like, Dragon against Water. 5-head. Easy, you bring the Dragon. But of course, that Water type learning ice move doesn't make it a good time. Now, for the future, if you also want to play it out, like I said, bring in Politoed, especially if yours has Earthquake. Yours is going to beat that Politoed. You could deal neutral damage, whereas their Politoed, you resist everything. So, there's also that option to it. But because it was a Snorlax on Stunfisk lead, that was also part of why I'm like, let's get Giratina out of there, because let's say the Polytoad on Polytoad matchup didn't go well, or they have Earthquake, because you can never assume. And if I had Giratina right here, this would have been, I could have won this. But anyhow, I didn't want Giratina to line up with a Snorlax, so that was the other issue. But yeah, if I end up, I also should have quit this one. I decided not to shield here because I know this one's over. I know EQ, no matter how glassy Roserade is not going to take it out, even for neutral damage. But yeah, if I would have done Stunfisk, Snorlax, Polytoad, Giratina on Roserade, whereas Roserade can only throw neutral damage, that would have been a dub for that last match. But yes, that is a collection of battles from the live stream. That's not all the battles. I literally did the entire day, the 25 battles, but I don't think you guys want to see 25 battles. Let me know what number of battles is good. Like, I mean, if you want to see more battles, please tell me. I'll shoutcast over more battles and try and give as much information on the team comp as I can in each video. But yes, this is another team that I ran at the legend rating, had some success with. Also take note, no chat box over there, just a beautiful image of Whiscash, because I'm shoutcasting this not live again, purely based on the fact that these are already my battles and the Twitch stream already saw these battles. But again, if you want to see the Twitch stream battles, link in the description of this video. Highly recommend dropping a follow over there. It's free. Let me know what you thought of the team comp. Let me know what you thought of the battles. I want to hear all your opinions as always. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.